Ken Kreitzer for Cam Vets Media. We are on WVOX 1460 AM Inertial today, and our pleased we're chatting with Fleet Master Chief Ray Kemp, and just waiting for our second guest to join in. That will be Rabbi Rear Admiral Harold Robinson, a career chaplain on the U.S. Navy, reaching Rear Admiral. And while we're waiting for the Admiral to call in.
The Admiral just called in.
Okay, very good. And we've got Rear Admiral Harold Robinson on the line. Admiral, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Master Chief Kemp, you and I have met on a couple of occasions.
Yes, sir.
Just to remind you, among others, I think you were on the Truman when Colonel Schlansky was the fleet.
That's exactly right. I was the Command Master Chief there when he moved up to be the Admiral. There was.
Right. And he and I flew out with a bunch of chaplain ordaining folks from different seminaries. We took we took the Greyhound out to introduce them to the realities of what chaplains do for our young men and women out there in the big blue sea. So that was the first time that I can remember meeting you. And then once when I went up to visit the boss at the IG office, just on a social occasion. So,
well,
nice to reconnect. It's a small nation.
Well, it's great to get these two great Americans on the line together who have served so many years in the U.S. Navy. And Admiral Robinson, I mentioned we're just talking that Fleet Master Chief Kemp just came back from a trip representing our nation for the American Battle Monument Commission to visit in Paris in North Africa and England. Tell us about what your thought about how important an organization the American Battle Monument Commission is.
Well, I got to tell you, in terms of preserving the link between American armed forces and the rest of America in a time and age when only a very tiny percentage of Americans actually serve in uniform, the memory of the past and preserving that memory and honoring those who created who served and helped create those memories. There's nothing more valuable. I've seen the change in people's awareness and understanding of what it is to be in America when they confront a cemetery full of crosses and stars and see that from age, 17 to 47, that people just gave their full measure of devotion. And without that, something very, very precious would be lost to America. Thanks, Ray, for what you do with the Commission.
Well, very good. And Fleet Master Chief, tell us a little bit about the value and importance of the role of chaplains in the Navy and Marine Corps.
Well, I'll tell you, Ken, as a combat vet and one who has done 11 combat deployments on ships and ashore, there is no greater measure of peace that can be exchanged between men, in my case, and men and women now, than to be able to have a voice of reason and a voice of calm. And it was my experience, whether it be the battlefield or engaged in battle at sea, my opportunity to have a conversation with the chaplain was such an increase to my psychological health that I just can't put into words all that the chaplain provides. And then to be able to advise, to give sage advice and wise guidance. I'm so thankful for chaplains, at least throughout my career at sea and ashore.
Absolutely. Now, we wanted to bring Admiral Robinson on today, a rabbi. How many years service in the Navy and Marine, serving the Marine Corps?
Navy and Marine Corps, 36 years and 1 month.
36 years. And Ray Kemp, how many years?
But who's counting, right?
Right. And Fleet Master Chief, how many years were you in the Navy?
It was 33 years for me, 6 months and 1 day.
So almost 70-year service represented by our guests today. Admiral Robinson, wanted to have you give us an update on our project at Arlington National Cemetery to update the Chaplains
Well, let
monuments.
me tell you a great American story.
Go ahead.
About 15 years ago, I got a telephone call from a Roman Catholic guy in Pelham, New York, about how his American Legion, Sons of American Legion, etc. post celebrated the loss of the 4 chaplains on the Dorchester, the 4 chaplains who went down together, having given their life jackets in World War II to the soldiers, in this case, the soldiers who were aboard ship and perished together that others may live. And he said, you know, I've been to Arlington, and there's a monument there that commemorates the 2 Protestant chaplains, and there's a monument there that commemorates the Catholic chaplain, but there's no monument to the Jewish chaplain, because the 4 chaplains were Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish. So he said, I'm a Catholic, but we got to get this fixed. And because of you, Ken Kreitzer, being that guy, we got that fixed, and we got a monument put up about 10 years, 12 years ago now, on Chaplains Hill, where there are other monuments, one to the World War I chaplain losses, and one to the Protestant losses, and one to the Roman Catholic losses, and now one to the Jewish losses. But the Protestant one is sorely out of date, not been updated in over 60 years. And the Catholic monument is just sort of out of date. So we've been trying to go forward. We've gotten Congress through the National Defense Authorization Act in 2021 to say, yes, this should be done, and the rules should allow the Arlington National Cemetery and Secretary of the Army controls it, should allow this and can allow this. So got all involved in red tape, deeply enmeshed, and so Congress came back in 2022 and said, and some of those red tape things, they don't apply here. So we've had 2 entries in the National Defense Authorization Act, and still Arlington is putting up smoke, blowing smoke where it doesn't belong, preventing, and listening to their hearings about this, where they clear up one point, go on to another point. When that gets cleared up, they go back to the original point and confuse it. And then when that gets cleared up, go back to the second and third point, and they just keep stirring this pot. It's truly, and these are men and women, actually men, who have died in service, go forward without weapons, just to care for the men and women of our armed forces in the most dangerous and most lonesome places. So we're really offended by what's happening up at Chaplains, at Arlington National Cemetery. That's my story, and we're still working.
Yeah.
We're still pushing forward.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the support. We've had quite a few members of Congress, especially Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island's been a big help on this. Congressman Langford out of Colorado, from Colorado Springs.
Congressman Keating up here in Massachusetts, and Congresswoman Deborah Schwartz down in Florida.
Absolutely.
Schwartz in Florida.
And one of the things we had a guest on last week, Bob Caselli, was a Vietnam veteran of the Iran Valley campaign, and he said, you know, it's been pointed out that there's concern about the accuracy of names placed on monuments. Well, he said, you know, they've got 59,000 names on the Vietnam Memorial, which is incredibly significant and meaningful to Vietnam veterans, really all Americans. And we're here trying to add 81 names to the Chaplains Monument. Each one of them has been nominated by the Chief of Chaplains. It's frustrating we can't move the project ahead.
Yeah, the names have been vetted by the chiefs of chaplains, the Chief of Naval Personnel, the G2 of the Army, all the equivalent personnel, the 3 stars in the armed forces and Air Force, and there are no Marine chaplains. Navy chaplains serve with Marines. So those have all been vetted. Each of the endorsing agencies, the people that are the civilians that
Okay, all right.
ordain and send these people forward to the military to take care of American sons and daughters. You know, as Master Chief will tell you, a lot of our armed forces are really young people. And, I mean, really young people. And perhaps the only adult they can comfortably talk with, not that the chiefs, senior chiefs, and master chiefs aren't there for them. They are, and do awesome work. But the chaplain is kind of off to is not part of the command structure per se, and so they sometimes feel more comfortable engaging with the chaplain, and as Master Chief said, really makes a difference. By the way, Master Chief, do you know, did you serve with Sergeant Major Green of the Marine Corps?
Sergeant Major,
Do you know? He was Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps a few years ago.
I have met him, but we did not serve together.
No, just wondering because he was the staff sergeant responsible for my IT, my technology when I was a newly pinned on captain.
Hey, we just have about 30 seconds left. Maybe we get a final little comment from each of you. Fleet Master Chief Ray Camp, final thought for us today?
Just echo what the chap said. It is so important, the chaplain corps in support of our young sailors. So anyone who knows a sailor or any service member going into the service, recommend them talk to the chaplain. I have a great uncle.
Fleet Master Chief, thanks so much for joining us. Admiral Robinson, final quick thought?
Yeah, Matt, thanks for what the Battle Monuments Commission does. It's really important work, and we could use your help helping Arlington understand the role of chaplains. There's one person there that always says, I totally support chaplains, but, and then comes up with 5 reasons why they can't do this.
Well, we got a break, but I want to thank these 2 great Americans from the U.S. Navy joining us, Fleet Master Chief Ray Kemp and Rabbi Rear Admiral Hal Robinson, just under 70 years service to our country in the U.S. Navy. Thank you, gentlemen, both for joining us today.
Right. Thanks, Ken. Out here.
Okay, it's Ken Kreitzer for Camp Vets Media, and thank you for listening today.